Hello folks, it's Kikoskia here, and welcome back to Let's Play Pillars of Eternity. And when last we left off, we've explored a lot of Valewood. There are a couple of places, however, that we haven't been able to reach. There is here, we can't get there because we can't scale this bit of wall, and there is the bear cave. Because bear. We have a bear, but the bear in the bear cave is much bigger than Biscuit, and a lot stronger. We're going to need to be higher level, have more people, or both if we're going to get to the body that's in that cave. For now, there's only one more thing we can do, and that is head this way to Gilded Vale. We've been promised many things upon arriving at Gilded Vale. Land, money, prosperity. But considering the area around Gilded Vale, I'm not sure any of that's going to be there for us when we arrive. The only question about our welcome left to answer is how warm it's going to be. And considering the rain, it's going to be damp at best. We've made it through Valewood, so Gilded Vale is our next locale. It's off to Gilded Vale we go. It'll take 8 hours to complete your journey. Let's go. Well, that's not encouraging. That's not encouraging at all. We have arrived, and we have gained 10 experience by getting here. So,
I'm here.
Let's go. Follow the worn path. See the old, knotted trees. And come to some stairs. Oh. Oh.
You must be one of the new settlers. Welcome to Gilded Vale. You'll be pleased to know that we've had some recent vacancies here.
A man approaches you, his skin as dull and grey as the desolate village behind him. He scans you with sunken, lifeless eyes. His voice is a dry croak. After speaking, he glances up a gnarled, leafless monstrosity of a tree next to him. Oh, what have we walked into? Do you welcome everyone this way? Lirin is understandably horrified, but trying her best to hide it. The only answer you hear is the buzzing of flies from the tree.
Of course, we'll need to make some inquiries first. The inestimable Lord Radric VII has taken great pains to insulate our town from Widewind's legacy. Have you ever conceived a Hollowborn child?
Well, we know the answer to that. What are you talking about, is the answer we're going with. What are you talking about?
An infant born without a soul, of course. Lord Radric has made it his first priority to eliminate this scourge from our village.
That explains the tree.
I should warn you, stranger. Here in Gilded Vale, we have a special place for dissidents, charlatans, and those who would hide a curse in our midst.
He steps to the side and inclines his head ever so slightly towards the deformed tree. As I suspected, the streets are not in fact paved with gold, they're paved with awfulness. Welcome to the tone of Pillars of Eternity, everyone. It's grim. Anvil of Dawn levels of grim. And then some.
His lordship's wife is with child and due any day now. Without his approval, I shan't be able to find you a permanent settlement. It will have to wait until after the birth. We can continue our interview then, after the bell tolls from Radric's hold to signal my lord's new heir. In the meantime, you can find temporary accommodations at the inn just southwest of here.
Before I got here, I saw several people conducting a strange ceremony near some ruins. He regards you carefully. You'll want to mind where you mentioned that. Trespassing on Engwithian ruins is illegal, not to mention dangerous. You probably saw someone attempting some new ritual to appease the gods. People will try anything these days. Bereth have mercy. We certainly have. I don't think so. Just as they finished, there was a bivouac. He polishes his spectacles on his sleeve. If you'd been that close to a bivouac, you wouldn't be standing here. He makes a good point. I doubt he believe how fortuitous we've been. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to ask. It's important that everyone in Gilded Vale understands our rules. I've been feeling strange ever since a close call with that bivouac. Is there someone in town who could help?
Whatever your problem, it sounds like a matter for an animancer. However, the only animancer in Gilded Vale isn't in any condition to speak. Consider yourself fortunate. After she failed Lord Raderick, we saw to it that she wouldn't profit from the misplaced trust of others. A bad cure is often worse than none at all.
Why do I get the feeling that Lord Raderick is quite mad?
But if you're set on finding a bottle of troll piss or a dead Audra pebble to rub on your forehead, you're welcome to check her pockets. A little corpse stink is nothing when you're digging for shit. My advice, however, is to be satisfied that you escaped and leave it at that.
There is something to be said for being lucky to be alive, but that's not good news. You said something about Hollowbone and Waidwen's legacy before. He blinks. I forgot that you foreigners do not have this curse in your homelands. The Hollowborn have been a scourge upon the Deerwood for almost 15 years now. He lowers his voice to a whisper. Children born without souls. He shakes his head. Pitiful, dumb things that breathe barely, but do not truly live. Some say the Hollowborn are a disease. Some say they are a punishment from the gods. He raises his empty hands. In truth, no one knows. But they began spreading after the Saints' War. The sober name Waidwen's legacy stuck in honor of that foul, blasphemous pretender. His voice shakes with vitriol. I see. Lord Rederick's decrees may seem strict at times, but he has our best interests at heart. He nods. I doubt that. Well, goodbye.
Keep out of...
Something's gonna happen.
Listen!
The bell.
2 tolls. Let that be the last.
3. Gods have mercy.
What does that mean?
It seems your arrival is ill-timed.
Urgi looks out towards the east, his expression unreadable. He blinks slowly and turns his attention back to you. Oh, we're about to find out what 3 bells are, and I'm not going to like it.
3 bells toll only for the death of a Raderick. I fear Lord Raderick's heir is lost, or else Hollowborn, and so lost all the same. You should tread carefully. Circumstances have changed a great deal.
What do you mean? You come to us at a time of mourning. A legacy has struck at the heart of Gilded Vale. Our efforts to redeem ourselves in the eyes of Bereth must be redoubled. He sets a steady gaze on you. Does this affect the Lord's offer to new settlers, by any chance? I can be sure of nothing right now. I advise you get some rest. The inn, or stable for all I care. Find me afterwards. I will know more soon enough. Farewell. I'm not going to ask what happened. It's pretty obvious what happened. So, this is Urgit. This is Sellsword and Archer. Well, there is something we can examine here, but... oh, this place is horrendous. If that is their definition of law and order, I am extremely concerned about staying here. Might as well examine the tree. Get a bit closer. Scattered between the roots are bracelets of twine and bead, wilting flowers, and notes half erased by the ruins. There's also a man here. He doesn't seem to be a sellsword, so let's have a chat.
Were you looking for someone in that tree? I could introduce you.
He's a voiced character, and he has a portrait. It's a good sign that he's a potential companion. Looking for anyone that can help me feel better. He gives an understanding nod as he takes a long drag from his pipe. My condolences. He exhales and turns his attention away, watching the village around him. Don't think we're going to be getting much more conversation from him. There's also an area down there. This is, if I check the map, the Temple of Eorthus. A ruined temple. Either the faith died here slowly, or very violently. I'm inclined to say very violently. Well, let's keep moving. Things are bound to get worse now. Don't be stupid. They can't possibly get any worse. No, they can. It's thought to you. Careful if you head east. Guards patrol the Easternwood, but not the Black Meadow. Good to know. You'd think these rains would be a boon for the crops. Are they not? Well, the map says we have the temple here, someone's house, there's a smithy, a windmill, a road south, road west, and the Black Hound Inn. We want to go there. We absolutely want to go there. And there's a bunch of people here. Angry townsmen, angry townsmen, angry townsmen, and Aloth. You see 4 people gathered by the door to the inn. Their raised voices and chopping gestures suggest an argument reaching its climax. The first figure raises his hands for calm. His face is partially obscured by a hood, but his height and stature suggest an elf, and his portrait suggests a character.
I meant no offense. Let's put this matter to rest over a round, shall we? My treat.
I recognize that voice.
Hoping to soothe our pride with a few Adira coppers, eh? We don't need your coin.
I think it's time for us to intervene. We can go, ooh, a fight! No, let's not do that. Let's intervene. What's going on here? One of the other men points at the hooded elf. His eyes are red from drink, but his gaze is focused. Mocking us even while he shelters in our village. Just goes to show you what these fancy Adir manners are worth. We don't take to that kind of treatment. Not from foreigners, especially not from Adirans.
Go on. Say it again. I'm itching for an excuse.
Oh, this is not good.
Fie, you're itching for the kindling touch of your sister, you cocksfeather!
Ooh.
I'll cut that barrel-licking tongue out of your head.
Oh dear.
This is a misunderstanding. I didn't say whatever it is you think I said. We've nigh quarrel.
Horror and shock paint themselves across the elven man's face in broad, hasty strokes. When he plants his feet, something surly and raw flickers through his eyes.
That's where you're wrong.
I don't think attacking him is a good idea. Oh, why do you say that? Well, I've seen his portrait and he's got a magic orb in his hands. The 3 drunks scowl at you. And why is that? We can't do intellect 14, but we can do perception 13. He's reaching for something, and since it's not the rapier at his side, it's either a wand or a throwing dagger, and you don't look ready to deal with either. They look at each other. One of the men gives the other 2 a warning shake of his head before turning to you. We're done for now, but this one better watch his step around here, 'cause we're not going anywhere. With a final scowl at the elf, he turns to leave. And thus we prevent a fight, and probably save this elf's life. As the 3 stumble away, the elf turns to you, the tension almost gone from his smooth face.
Not quite how I hoped to get to know the neighbors. Thank you for your timely assistance with that awkward situation.
I'm glad I could help.
Courtesy is a rare pleasure in these parts. Though your accent suggests that you are no more local than I.
You're right. He straightens his hood, and you note the remains of fraying embroidery on his gloves. His boots are caked with the dirt of many months' travel, but the leatherwork beneath it is sturdy and fine.
Well, I suppose introductions are in order after that little fiasco. Aloth Corvisor, at your service.
Tell me about yourself, then.
Well, I'm a wizard by training, and an adventurer by necessity. I was born in the Seathwood, part of the mainland of the Adir Empire, and both of my parents served the nobility, which afforded me an education for which I am grateful. However, there were no open positions in those houses, and so I decided to seek new means in a new land.
And you came here. I'm sorry to hear that.
And how exactly did you come to be here?
I was travelling with a caravan, but we were separated near some ruins.
In Gwithan ruins? Well, those can be dangerous places during the best of times, which these are not. In half the locals would arrest you for trespassing, and the rest would kill you outright. I'm curious, what exactly did you find there?
Several hooded figures operating a strange machine. Aloth goggles at you silently, apparently assessing your earnestness. Finally, he gives you a clipped, awkward laugh.
You do manage to find yourself in rather interesting predicaments.
You too? What are you doing in Gilded Vale?
An excellent question. I came looking for fresh air and cheap land. Instead, the magistrate gave me directions to the inn and a story about the local lord's expectant wife. But I take it that's a familiar tale.
And now a very sad one. And you? Like you said, I'm also a settler. But I've been experiencing strange things of late. I'm looking for an expert on souls.
Indeed. The local lord has searched far and wide for similar specialists. He has rid himself of them almost as desperately.
He looks at a gnarled old tree in the centre of town. His darting glance takes in the tumbled-down buildings and fallow, rock-strewn fields. I expect that such expertise would be best sought elsewhere. Just how did you manage to cross those three drunks?
I'm afraid that was a matter of misunderstandings and mistranslations. It doesn't help that people in these parts remember their war with Adir like it was yesterday.
You did make a rather lewd suggestion regarding one of the aggressors and his own sister. Ah, that. He clears his throat and adjusts his sleeves. As I tried to tell them, they misheard me. It happens all too easily after a few pints, and the accent doesn't help. I see. For which I am grateful. Let's, discuss something else, shall we? You don't exactly look like a settler, Aloth.
Begging your pardon, but neither do you. Yet, circumstances can find a person in the strangest of places.
You're not wrong. I should probably get going. I need to get a room for the night.
As should I, given recent events. It's just as well. I've had enough of the watered wine and lumpy beds at the inn. They say even the owner tired of the place. Just up and left one day. It explains quite a lot about the upkeep. Perhaps I could join you. I could use a change of scenery, and I find it's better to travel in numbers.
So the first potential party member we can get is a wizard. You know what? I'm not going to say no to a friendly face, especially one that believes he can handle himself against 3 people. We really need a friendly face here. So do I. Let's go then.
Excellent. I shall follow you.
Fantastic. So, what's your inventory like? What do you have? You have on your person a scepter, a rapier, Aloth's grimoire, which has in it wizards have the ability to learn a staggering number of spells, but they are always limited by the capacity of their grimoires. At any given time, a grimoire may only contain 4 spells of each level. Click on a spell in the right panel to remove it from the grimoire. Add spells to empty slots by clicking on the left in the spell panel. Oh. So he has right now Minaletter's minor missiles, which is like magic missiles, only not. Archimere's dazzling lights overwhelm anyone in the area with of effect with a brilliant, bewildering pyrotechnic display, decreasing their will and leaving them dazed. Calakoth's sunless grasp, that's basically chill touch. And Fan of Flames creates a cone of fire in front of the caster, that's burning hands. And there's also Wizard's Double, combat only not in grimoire. Creates a duplicate of the caster to distract enemies, granting the caster a high deflection bonus until he or she is hit or crit. Interesting. We don't have anything at level 2 or anything higher. Fair enough. You also have a suit Aloth's leather armor. Aloth's leather armor has been lightly enchanted to enhance its spellcasting abilities. It also appears to have custom decorative patterns stitched into the surface. Unlike most deer wood and leather armor, Aloth's has been tailored in the Adir style, meaning that the torso is more heavily reinforced, but it lacks sleeves due to Adir's hot and humid climate. That makes sense. That makes sense. You know, you need a... Oh, you already have a cloak. Never mind. Capes are popular throughout the Eastern Reach. Commonly made of wool or animal pelts, capes provide warmth on cool nights and through deep winters. And boy, are we going to need warmth here, because here is awful.
Yes?
But at least we're no longer alone. And when we come back, folks, we will pop into the inn. We can read the sign here, if we pop over here. The Black Hound Inn. We'll pop into the inn, get a room, hopefully at a discount considering we saved the cook, and then, when the new day dawns, we'll explore the Gilded Vale more closely. Presuming, of course, we want to see all the grime and dirt and misery. Oh, there's so much misery. But what a way to introduce you to the settlement, eh? What a way to introduce you. You won't forget here anytime soon, that's for sure. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you're not. And if you are subscribed, press that bell for those notifications. And I'll catch you next time, folks. And I'll see you then. Later.